Welcome back to the Underscore. With your host, Josh Joyce, Brian Overman, he's on fire, and Mason Ringeisen. Wow.
What's up, sports fans? Welcome back to the Underscore. I'm Josh.
And I'm Mason. We are without Brian today. He had some obligations and could not record with us.
It's 4th of July weekend or week, so I'm sure there's a cookout or something that he was obligated to go to.
Yeah, I'm sure. I didn't have anything that started until tomorrow.
Same.
So yeah.
Same. Because I want to be available for the podcast. I'm dedicated, unlike
so dedicated.
Yeah.
We are dedicated enough for the three of us, obviously.
Done.
Yep.
So on today's show, we're going to talk. Tom Brady had one regret while playing. I don't know what that could be. Mason's going to fill us in. Josh Jacobs, in his new home of Green Bay, wants to make it a legacy there. Counting down the days to kickoff on September 5th. Hard Knocks preseason premiered on Max last night, and the Giants GM was quoted saying some dumb shit. And Brian sent us a thing earlier in the week with these like way too early mock drafts. And we'll just jump into that. Like, dude, the 2025 mock draft.
How like who even thinks of that? I mean, look, I know it's slow, right? There's not a ton of football news. We struggle. We're not running an all news network, all sports entertainment news network. We don't have to make shit up, but it's so early.
Like, somebody's like, man, I better put out an article so they don't get rid of me.
Yeah. I mean, it had to be desperation.
Yeah. Like, we really notice you don't have anything to put out between March and June.
Yeah. July. We can kind of talk a little bit in August. There's some preseason stuff going on, but we need anything.
1 week in April and 1 week in June for the OTAs. But yeah, it was like, and it was so stupid because the first two picks of this mock draft, it was like,
they're trades. What are you doing?
So, one, you're predicting who's going to finish last and have those picks, and already predicting who that team is going to trade to. Like, it's too many levels.
It's a conjecture. It's exactly right. It's a conjecture of a guess. We haven't seen these players play their final college season. We have no idea who's going to finish first or last in the NFL. I mean, there's strong predictions, but I mean, if you've got that kind of vision, go place your bet in Vegas and retire.
No doubt. And is that just not like a cop-out? Be like, I don't know who's going to go 1 and 2. They're traded?
Trade, yeah, I'm sure.
Player to be named later.
I'm sure those top two trade, yeah. It's so, and I think is it all, the article that I read was on ESPN. It was from Matt Miller. I don't know if this all came from Matt Miller, if this came from ESPN. You know, some of the brass just needed something to say, hey, buddy, we need you to talk about anything.
But a slot to fill.
I mean, so dumb.
Oh, God. But it made the news. It's making our news cycle just about how dumb it is.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, you know, the old, I think I probably say this too much, P.T. Barnum. I don't care what you say about me, just spell my name right.
There you go. And that's great for you. That's actually a really great quote from you because your last name is not the easiest to spell.
Nobody spells my name right.
Honestly, I've been around so many people who don't even pronounce your name right, much less spell it right.
Oh, dude, they add consonants, they change vowels, they do. I've had L's and H's.
Because of your last name, I think what is it? Is it Rookie of the Year where he keeps getting the
Henry
Rowan-Gardner. Yeah, Ringslinger.
I'm going to call out Joe Reed from high school. He didn't know my name, and he came to every football game. He was probably 3 or 4 years older than me. He drove the bus. Like, he was that guy who graduated and drove the school bus. He was cool. Joe was so cool. And every high school football game, he couldn't say my name. He called me Mason Rosenslinger.
And
he had just a touch of a lisp. Rosenslinger, what's up? I could hear him from a mile away. So when somebody mispronounces my name, that's the bar against which I judge all name pronunciations going forward. If you do better than Rosenslinger, you get full credit.
Done.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Of course, for the uninitiated, my last name is Ringeisen, spelled and pronounced just like ring, and then Eisen like Eisenhower. People read it and have like a micro stroke or something. They just
because everybody. Well, I know me. Is it I before E or
yeah. Yeah. So the older generation, I use the Eisenhower reference, and they get it. And everybody else, I'm just like, it's Ring Eisen, and if they need to practice, they can practice or whatever. Yeah.
Oh,
fun.
Thank God I'm friends with you.
I mean, look, we can't all be Joyces.
Yeah, fucking 5 letters.
Nothing silent. Nothing sounds like anything else.
Although it has been messed up on 2 separate occasions.
How?
Because
I'm sorry. By whom?
Well, one was a guy I worked with. He was typing it into one of the documents, and he spelled it with an I instead of a Y.
Okay.
Interesting choice.
Very.
And the other was when our friend Chad was getting married. They had my last name down as Josh Choice.
Okay, can I blame that on Chad's poor enunciation?
You 100%. You could probably blame it on mine.
All right, and then follow-up question: your coworker, was he a native, born and raised English speaker?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. I was going to give him credit for being foreign. Maybe it's spelled that way in another language, but he went completely the other way.
He's a good cat, but he can't spell for shit.
He ain't a speller.
Nope. Some words it's one of those ones where some complicated word he can spell correctly, and then you get down to Joyce, and it's like
he's reading. He's like,
I don't know.
It's like it's the bro. Wow.
Oh. So talked about the Giants being on Hard Knocks preseason. I guess they're going to start making several different spin-offs of Hard Knocks.
Okay.
Because I think it's now in season, and I think they did playoffs.
Yep. It's been a huge success. It's been incredibly entertaining.
Yeah. I always enjoy it. There's always at least one catchphrase for football that comes out of each one. Every year.
Not enough for me to subscribe to Max, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, if you're already subscribed.
Yeah, I catch it on the YouTubes.
There you go.
I catch it semi-legally.
But yeah, the Giants GM, I guess, was quoted. I'll have to watch it later, but he said you don't pay a guy $40 million to hand the ball off to a $12 million running back. Which the Giants, I mean, hopefully you're shaking your head at your GM right now, this guy's an idiot.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. You do if you have $52 million to spend.
Yeah.
I mean, what? If that's what's open, you don't pay the quarterback for the move anyway. You pay the best paid quarterbacks are paid for their decision-making ability. Not everybody at that level can throw the ball.
Yeah.
Everybody can make the throw. Some guys are longer, some guys are more accurate, but when it boils down to it, everybody at that level can make the throw. You pay him for the ability to make the right decision when it's time to hand it off. And look, we're in an offensive climate that plays a lot of RPO.
Mm-hmm.
You have to read the defense. You have to read what's in front of you and know when to pull it, when to run, when to pass. That's what you pay the guy $40 million for. Now, question is he worth $40 million outside of that? Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, Daniel Jones threw a lot of interceptions. Probably doesn't read the defense well. Probably pulled the ball when he should have handed the ball off, or vice versa.
Right.
So
if you're gonna bitch about that.
Yeah. And be thankful that you have a running back that the defense can account for. Because going forward, right? Who do you have in your backfield this year?
Who's the backup?
So they're like, okay, they're not handing the ball to fucking Tommy Tinkletoes or whatever.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, they're gonna make Daniel Jones throw the ball, and it's like, okay, well, we'll just drop 8.
We'll just play a nickel. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, stand back here. Easy pickings.
Yeah.
$40 million pick man.
Well, and the other thing is, I feel like getting Saquon for 12 is a bargain.
Damn right.
I mean, that's a lot of running back. I mean, right now running backs are cheap.
I mean, you're not signing him to like a 5-year deal. You're signing him to probably 3. I think it's what McCaffrey's got the last couple of times.
It's 3s. Yeah. I mean, look, running backs get hurt. When they're good, you pay them a lot for a short stint.
Yeah. And
when they're no good, you move on. I mean, I'd say they're disposable. They're disposable, like anybody else in the NFL.
Yeah. I'm wondering when it's going to swing. Like, because I remember in the 90s, like, running back was it. Like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the bus, you had Emmitt Smith.
I mean.
I saw a little write-up. Mike Allstott got inducted into the Indiana Hall of Fame.
Really?
Indiana Sports Hall of Fame. He went to Purdue. He's an Indiana guy. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, to know a fullback's name from the 90s, I mean, that's how big the backfield was.
Yeah.
And then it kind of swung. Now it's really receivers get paid. So what'll happen, and this is just my guess, right? You're a kid, you're growing up in the 90s, you see these receivers, so you see these running backs and you idolize them. So you've got some kids who could have chosen, right? Whether they want to be a receiver, they want to be a running back. Some of it's body type based, whatever. But anybody who has a choice, who idolized those running backs, chose to be running backs. So now that there's a glut of running backs, and this might have even cycled through a couple times, generationally speaking, but you get a glut of that position. So now they're a dime a dozen, and the wide receivers get paid because there's not as many high-quality wide receivers. So now the younger generation sees these receivers, and now they all want to be a receiver. So if they have the option to pick between being a running back or a receiver, they choose receiver because that's who they see getting paid. And it kind of, in my mind, it oscillates. It shifts because those two positions, to some degree, are interchangeable when it comes to athleticism and body type. Obviously, once you make that decision, you kind of specialize in one or the other. You get a little bit leaner. You're a little bit focused on speed and route running, or you focus on bulking up. You do 10,000 squats a day or whatever to be a running back. But I think that's kind of how that position is.
I'll be excited to see that. Probably another 10 years.
Yeah.
And then it's going to change the game. The score's going to go lower, probably defense up, because you're not going to have as many high.
Yep.
Well,
and the other piece of that, I know this is Mason wearing a tinfoil hat, which is fine. The defensive side of those positions, you've got players who were really strong running backs in high school and college. They can't do it at the pro level. So, what do those guys become? Well, they become linebackers. They defend running backs. And on the other side of that, you've got guys who were really strong receivers in high school and college. Well, they can't run a route. They don't catch as well. They become defensive backs and safeties
because they're just as fast. They can read the quarterback.
Yep. They know the routes. They know the situations. Yeah. So there's always going to be some kind of even matchup between offense and defense if my tinfoil hat theory holds true.
Is that the reason football is probably the most beautiful game?
Football is beautiful because it combines strategy with just raw violence. And it's in such manageable doses, right? You have a play. A play lasts between 3 and 7 seconds. And then you reset and do it again. Soccer is interesting to watch, and it also combines strategy with incredible athleticism, but it's an endurance sport. Football is a series of sprints through another man, where soccer is like watching a marathon. You have to appreciate the athleticism, but man, you better tuck in because you're there for 45 minutes, and then you get to go take a leak, and then you're there for another 45 minutes.
Yeah, oh God, you're so right.
It's beautiful. It's bite-sized pieces. It's
so great.
I love football. Love it. I wish I could watch a football game. I would rather rewatch a football game right now than watch most of the other sports that are out there.
I was rewatching. I just flipped the channels the other day, and on the NFL Network, they were playing like an old Sunday ticket game, Chiefs and somebody last year. I watched the rest of the game. I knew the outcome. I didn't remember watching the game because a lot of times I'm on the red zone watching for fantasy, and man, football just goes too fast. I don't have time to just enjoy it. So I sit there and watch that.
Just sit and watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. I know I need to get Cardwell watching. I've been letting him watch home run derbies.
Okay.
Because
the most exciting part of baseball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's been wanting to hit, outside on the tee and everything. It's like, all right, let's watch people hit.
Yeah. Here's the mechanics of the guys who do it really well. Look at what they're doing. Yeah.
But I know Disney last year, they did the cartoon version, like the Toy Story game. Do you remember this?
I know of like the championship game.
No, it was just a random.
I almost said the S word. I'm gonna get us canceled.
No, it was just a regular season game. Jaguars and somebody, and they somehow had the Toy Story animation over the game.
That's cool.
Oh, it was so cool. It was a little janky at first. Like, it took a minute to get everything lined up.
Right,
because they were doing it live. Like, it wasn't like a replay.
So they had the Imagineers in there working live.
Yeah,
that's dope.
And Card will love that.
Yeah,
let's watch a Toy Story football game, Daddy. I think it only stayed on there for maybe a week, and we watched it
every time. Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Just getting kids interested.
Dude, that is interesting. It's funny to me, so I grew up watching football with Dad, right? He never really watched college games unless Wisconsin was in a bowl game. We never really went to, high school football games. I didn't even start playing until 8th grade. But, man, once I got in, dude, the bug bit me, and that was it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm right there. I'm always loved football. Remember Daddy watching it growing up, but we never went to high school. We never watched college.
Mm-hmm.
But every Sunday, you better believe we're watching something on CBS.
Yep.
And flipping back and forth between Fox.
CBS?
Yeah.
AFC teams? I guess it was
a lot of new.
It wasn't as defined. Yeah. That's right. See, I'm thinking,
because we didn't get a team in Charlotte until, what was it, 95?
95. The 95 expansion.
14 years of having to watch
the Redskins.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Man. Because even, Nashville didn't have a team then. Nope. The Titans weren't a team.
It was Atlanta and Washington.
Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah. But you always got, like you said, the AFC. So it was, especially at that time, it was a lot of Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching a lot of Buffalo. But being a Miami fan, it didn't matter.
Right.
See them play every once in a while.
Well, yeah, especially in the early 90s, there was a lot of Buffalo on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
The bridesmaid Jim Kelly.
But then there was a time in my life I kind of almost got out of football.
Really?
Uninterested.
Okay.
Yep. And fantasy football came in and saved me.
It brought you back in.
Oh my God. It was so wonderful. It was after the Marino years, before I become a Panthers fan, there was nothing going on, nothing exciting for me.
It just didn't slap. Just didn't get you.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been blessed. I remember watching the game where
Packers fan.
Yeah, where Favre went in, and we've been, I don't know if Jordan Love will eventually be a Hall of Fame quarterback, but he had a good year last year. So we've got
good weapons around him.
Good weapons around him. 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks with very long careers back to back. Yeah, I'm very fortunate to be a Packers fan for the last, 30 years or so.
And now y'all got Josh Jacobs there, wanting to make it a...
Yeah, talking about he wants his goal. He has a goal of legacy in Green Bay. So he wants to settle in. He wants to be there. He wants a legacy.
That's good, because I feel like this is his 3rd team.
Mm-hmm.
Was he a Giant to start off with?
I think he was a Giant.
I feel like that's correct.
But for a young guy to have that many jerseys.
Yeah.
And look,
the Raiders didn't want to pay him. They let him walk. They franchise tagged him last year. I think the season before he led the league in rushing. This last year he was off to a slow start, but that's not really any fault of his. They had Devontae Adams on the outside, but what are you going to do when you're at one point during the season your quarterback is Aiden O'Connell?
Yeah. Who?
Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel, who was it? It was Garoppolo, and then they went away from Garoppolo. I feel like it was somebody else. maybe Brian Hoyer, and then Aiden O'Donnell. Like, it's not like it's not an all-star lineup there with quarterbacks.
No, this is only Jacob's second team.
Oh, okay.
The Raiders got him in the first round. They got the pick from the Bears when the Bears signed Khalil Mack.
Oh, okay.
So Raiders, and then is that right? Yeah, Raiders, Packers. So
Okay. I don't know.
only the second team.
Okay.
Yeah, for some reason, you thought the Giants. For some reason, I was thinking Denver, but they got the pick from Denver. But he's been a Raider.
Good. Well, hey.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
I hope he does. I think, with Dylan back there with him, they're going to be a really good 1-2 punch.
And honestly, it's probably going to be a 1-2-3 punch. I don't even know if Dylan's going to be the backup because they drafted, I can't remember the cat's name, but he was like, at one point in the season, he was the number one prospect running back.
Shit, I'm not going to remember either.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. I know I've heard it floating around the fantasy football community because when you're talking about drafting, especially dynasty, like you're wanting to draft rookie running backs, and a lot of people are taking him over Jonathan Brooks because Jonathan Brooks came off a knee injury playing with the Panthers behind Miles Sanders. Like, I feel like there's more opportunity with a better offense for this running back in Green Bay.
Yep. Let's see. Sorry. I swear. So I pull up the Packers depth chart. They have no right guard listed and no running back listed.
Yeah, because where does Bakatari? Is he going to come back?
No, Bakhtiari's gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, which is good. I mean, he had been out for the season for the last, I want to say, at least 2, maybe 3 seasons.
Yeah,
he's just
ate up.
Yep, he's just done.
Yeah, it sucks, but
I mean, it happens.
It does. God, you see the picture.
Marshawn Lloyd.
Okay,
that's it. Yeah, sorry.
Hey, that's a good running back name right there.
It is. I mean, if you're going to pick somebody, pick a Marshawn.
Right?
Yeah.
Jeez. I saw that he is getting ready to do a podcast with the governor of California.
Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah.
Really?
Who is the governor of California? I've seen the name and I recognize the name, but I was like, that is odd. I meant to put it in the show notes, but obviously I just remembered it.
It's better anyway. Gavin Newsom's latest podcast, he'll host a podcast with NFL star Marshawn Lynch. I'm going to tune into that. That sounds awesome.
Dude, anything Marshawn does, I love how he has made such a big name for himself and didn't change a fucking bit.
Nope.
Like,
he's still tight. He's still tight as bark on a tree. He ain't spending his money.
No.
He says what he says. He does what he does. Love Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
Yeah, be yourself.
And I love that he's still, he's salty about them not handing the ball off to him.
He should be. They lost.
He should. Yeah, not, I don't think he'll ever he has 2 rings, y'all just handed him the fucking ball.
Look, if you're Pete Carroll, you better have a better fake than that if you're not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch.
God.
That
still could probably, that might be one of the biggest bonehead plays I've ever seen.
Yep. Now, speaking of NFL bonehead moves, we've got our _4.
Yeah, we got
the biggest bonehead moves by an NFL player or a former NFL player. Now, these aren't necessarily on the field. In fact, I think most of them are off the field.
Yeah.
But we've got some doozies.
Yeah, because I saw in the news cycle earlier this week or late last week that Jamarcus Russell, he was volunteering at his alma mater in Alabama, his high school, and somebody wrote a $74,000 check for the program, and he said, "I'll take that."
Yeah, that's clearly my salary.
100%. He's like, "What you talking about? Teachers don't get paid? Well, no, man, I'm an assistant. I got a $74,000 check."
So, in a volunteer assistant high school, let me rephrase this headline. Volunteer assistant high school football coach Jamarcus Russell fired for stealing $74,000 donation.
Former number 1 overall pick. Assistant high school football.
Man, that's almost as good as Bobby Bonilla Day on Bobby Bonilla Day week.
God, dude.
July 1st.
I mean, just talk about this on the baseball podcast.
July 1st every year. If you don't know, he's got like 10 more years of that.
I think was it through 2035?
2030. thought it was 2033.
But I noticed, I saw an article on Instagram. There's like 3 other baseball players who also get paid. Like Ken Griffey Jr. still gets paid. Griffey gets paid 3.9, like almost $4 million every July.
Nope, you're right. Through 2035.
Yeah.
July 1st. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
He gets paid by another team too.
Bobby Bonilla does?
He does. Yeah. Is it I want to say it's the Orioles, but I don't think it's the Orioles.
Nope, here we go. Let's see. Oh no, they talk about other players with deferred payments.
Who's the other big name one? I feel like there was like 4 really big names.
Bobby Bonilla, a second deferred contract plan with the Mets and the Orioles. So the Orioles pay him $500,000 a year for 25 years. Those payments began in 2004. So they're done in 2029. Brett Saberhagen will receive $250,000 a year from the Mets. Manny Ramirez will collect $24 million from the Red Sox through 2026. Ken Griffey Jr. KG receives $3.59 million from the Reds every year through this year. So this is the last year.
I'll start selling those dick deals.
have to call your boy Frank Thomas and get on the Nugenics with Doug Flutie.
Yeah.
And
how funny would it be?
She'll like it too.
Your nickname's the Kid, and you have erectile dysfunction.
Well, even the Kid has a limp noodle from time to time. Man, still one of the this is the NFL show. This isn't baseball, but still one of the sweetest. One of the sweetest. We can talk about it. I know we can admit that we enjoy baseball from time to time. One of the sweetest swings in the game, man.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, smooth. Yeah,
I think they made his his Jumpman logo out of his swing.
Yep,
for his branding.
Yep,
it's beautiful.
Oh, man. So good. Speaking of which, dude, I was out last week. And last week, I actually got to go to a Major League game.
I know.
I went to the Cardinals Braves. Had really decent seats for a pretty good price, too. We were on, the first base side of home plate, lower level, back underneath in the shade. It was 95 degrees at 6:45. It was hot as balls. And really enjoyed watching the game.
That's fucking great, man.
Incredible fielding.
It was gorgeous. And on that show, we talked about, there was a family who was going around to see all the baseball stadiums, and his dad died before they could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, how awesome would that to be doing football? I would love to go to every stadium.
32 stadiums?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I've only been to Bank of America. But
I've only seen a game at Bank of America. I've toured Lambeau, but I've never been to a game at Lambeau.
I've toured what is it, Hard Rock Field or whatever,
Miami. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Chad toured that years ago.
So if you go to every game, you can do it in 2 years. But you have to be at a game every week.
Every week. Yeah. It would start off easy at first. We could knock out a bunch between Buffalo and Florida for us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, East Coast, anywhere from Nashville east, you could make happen for a weekend trip.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple hour flight. Like you said, what is it, 8 hour drive to Ohio? So
yeah, from here is
Cleveland, Cincinnati.
Yep.
Probably he's not that much further.
And if you can catch them, if you can catch Buffalo and New York, or hell, even Buffalo and Cleveland on a Thursday, Sunday, Monday, make a long weekend out of it and hit 3 in a weekend.
That'd be fucking awesome.
I think it'd be harder on my liver than my wallet, but
oh
yeah.
That'd be, Atlanta is one of the cheapest places to buy food at the stadium.
But it's one of the most expensive tickets. Yeah. Yep. Since they got the new stadium. I'll have to double check this. The last time I looked it up, do you know who had the most expensive ticket?
Who?
The Vikings. Because Bank of America Stadium, U.S. Bank Stadium. Sorry, Bank of America's Panthers.
Yeah.
U.S. Bank Stadium is so small. They just don't have as many seats as most stadiums.
Huh.
Yeah.
It doesn't look that small, but I mean, you really only see the field.
Yeah.
And anytime I go to a game, I'm always amazed. Like, this looks so much bigger on TV.
Yep. Oh, I've seen Garth Brooks at US Bank Stadium, but I've never seen the Vikings play there.
Oh, man.
Fun.
Yeah. I want to do that. I want to start going to other stadiums.
Dude, let's make a plan because I'm super down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I go to a game a year anyway. I mean, I don't mind stretching this thing out. Like,
yeah. I mean, if it takes, well, you've got one, so you got 31 years.
Yeah.
Make it 2 games, you just cut it in half, bro.
Done.
15 years. Yep.
We'll save some of the West Coast for a few years.
Oh, God, I just don't want to go to Seattle for anything.
You can at least go and say you've been. And I did the only thing.
If I go, I'm going to. We'll have to. Oh, there's really not any overlap between baseball and football season because I'd love to go to a Mariners game and a Seahawks game in the same trip. Which
knock it all out.
I guess it would just mean the Seahawks. Well, the Mariners play in September.
Yeah.
Man. Yep. That's what I would go for 2 professional games and then leave and never look back.
I'll find the perfect weekend. We could watch the Kraken, the Mariners, and the Seahawks.
Well, in reverse order, that would be my priority. So I'd go for a Seahawks game, try to squeeze in a Mariners game, and if the stars and the planets align, let's get a Kraken game.
They could be playing the Stars.
Let's get it cracking.
Oh, man.
Fun.
See, and I feel like, God, where would I not want to go? I don't know. Nothing really, like, jumps out.
I mean,
maybe,
LA?
Maybe Dallas.
See, I've heard enough fun things about Dallas, though. Like, I've heard Houston traffic is terrible, but you're there on a Sunday, game traffic is terrible all the time.
It is. Oh, God.
Dallas I've heard so many great things about Texas women, and I've really spent most of my time in Austin, so I've only seen the hippies.
Oh, okay.
So I'd go to Dallas and see, yeah, I want to see Debbie's and them. Yeah.
Really?
But, yeah, Texas would be great. I'd love Texas. Texas would be fantastic.
Deep in the heart.
I've only been to Kansas City once, and they talk about their barbecue, and it was absolute dog shit. I went to a very well-known, renowned Texas barbecue place and was as disappointed in it as I've been in anything in my life. Yeah, it was not good.
God, man, there's a place in High Point that serves some of the best fucking barbecue. It's got my mouth watering over here. They make the baked beans where they put the fucking meat in the baked beans.
Yeah.
I had good hamburger meat and ham. Like, there's all the fucking meat. Oh, goddamn.
I had good barbecue in St. Louis. The pork was good. They don't do beef well. Their brisket was like roast beef that was worse than Arby's.
Oh.
But their ribs were banging.
Funny story?
Yes.
Only ribs.
Well, you're wrong.
Yeah, I want to. I want to.
You just can't, or
there's just something about the meat I don't like.
Okay.
Like
that's fair.
Yeah.
The guy that I went with, a buddy of mine, he's from Texas. He's a barbecue guy. He doesn't eat ribs. So he got the brisket. He got the brisket and the burnt ends. He got a basket full of disappointment. And I got the ribs, and I got the burnt ends too. The burnt ends weren't traditional burnt ends as you know them, but those ribs were popping, man. Yeah,
we're gonna have to go out one guys' night for some barbecue.
Yes,
whether it be Camel City or Sweet Old Bill's, or if you have a place in mind.
I've got to play. God, I got to remember my place in Lexington. I'll have to think of it. I blanked on it.
Just do a barbecue day.
Barbecue day.
Fucking barbecue crawl,
dude. I'm so down.
How is that not a thing here in North Carolina?
Because we haven't invented it yet.
God damn.
Barbecue crawl. That'll be our. Although barbecue season is like the fall, right?
Yeah.
It's usually after they slaughter hogs. Dude, traditionally, I mean, not anymore.
Barbecue trucks. We could do a barbecue crawl with food trucks in downtown.
You got to go to the place, man. Man. You be in there. You walk in and you smell the smoke.
Dude, I don't know, man.
And you meet the people.
Bearded barbecue.
Bearded barbecue's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Okay. And barbecue's the kind of thing that transports well. Like, you can smoke it and it's high quality later. Yeah. For me though, like walking in and smelling the pit, smelling the smoke, seeing that greasy old bastard in the back that's been staring at smoke all day or all night. I mean, that's part of the magic.
As soon as you said that, in my mind, I'm going Kid Rock. Get in the pit and try to love some. That song is about barbecue.
Oh man! Well, we talked about we touched on the _4.
Yeah.
We've got our biggest bonehead moves by NFL players or former NFL players. What's your 4,
dude?
You got it up, or do you want me to go?
I've got it up. So
fire it off.
Do it the same way, so Brian can cut it.
Yep.
All right. Josh with the _4. Top 4 bonehead moves by NFL player. Number 1, Josh Gordon could not stay off the grass. Little Ray in the trunk. Ray Curry for Jeezy Pete's, man. Ryan Leaf, not only a bust at the highest level, but started getting hooked on pills so bad that he was breaking into people's houses for pills. And then Johnny Football. Laziness just got him. Like, he could have been great. He could have been bigger than LeBron in Cleveland and just blew it.
He should have been bigger than LeBron in Cleveland. He started that way.
Somebody was like, who's the loudmouth on ESPN?
Which one?
The one that had the show with Shannon Sharp. Maybe it was on Fox. It's not Colin Cowherd.
No, it's Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless.
Yep.
I feel like Skip Bayless, hell, it might have been. One of those guys, Colin Cowherd, Skip Bayless, had said that Johnny Manziel was going to make Cleveland forget about LeBron James.
Wow. Well, and here's the thing. He should have.
Yeah.
I mean, now LeBron's he's from there, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not a Cleveland guy, but he grew up just outside of Cleveland.
Yeah, but Akron. Yeah.
Akron.
Yeah, but I think Manziel was from Cleveland.
Was he a hometown guy too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he just went to college out of state.
He went to Texas or Oklahoma?
Texas A&M.
A&M. Yep. He was an Aggie. All right. While you're doing that, I'm going to give mine. So the _4 biggest bonehead moves by an NFL player or former NFL player. Got to start off with Brett Favre. Dude sent some dick pics. Can't do that. Got Ricky Williams. Again, couldn't stay off the grass. Poor guy. Elevator Beats by Ray Rice definitely made the list, and this was not an electronic remix. And then we're taking it to the owner's box with Robert Kraft going to the Orchids of Asia Day Spa and getting some massages and being charged with solicitation.
What an idiot.
Boom. You got all the money in the world and you want to drop $60 on a massage? Look, pay $100 and get the discreet one.
Yeah, exactly. So I was totally wrong, yeah. Manziel was born in Tyler, Texas.
Oh, he was a Texas guy. Yep. Oh, I had an uncle that lived in Tyler, Texas for a while. Yeah, he was an engineer with Train.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that was his job. He was also an engineer with Kohler for a while. He lived in Sheboygan, Wisconsin. But, yeah. Yep. Fun.
Nice.
Cool. Well, I think that's all we've got on the football and things that aren't football.
Yeah. We never did talk about Tom Brady's regret.
Oh, his biggest regret. So he was on the Pivot podcast. His biggest regret on our way out, he said that he got too serious. He says that he looks at guys, younger quarterbacks now, like Patrick Mahomes, having a blast playing a game, and he feels like he got too serious. He looks back and he talks about, showing emotion by yelling at teammates, and man, that's what it takes to win 7 rings.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And look at the organization he was in for that long. Like, that organization didn't have any personality.
Well, it's not like Bill Belichick was out playing fucking hopscotch in the parking lot and skipping rope.
I mean, you can look at Patrick Mahomes, but look at who his coach is. His coach is Andy Reid. Andy Reid is a hoot.
He's making car insurance commercials about stealing his chicken nuggets. Give me some of those nuggies.
Yeah. Eating 60 cheeseburgers because he is a cheeseburger guy and wouldn't spit them out.
That's right.
Like,
yeah. Well, what are we gonna do about this?
That's not Bill Belichick style. So you were a young man. You were in that system where it was you didn't have a chance to be joking. And I've seen some stuff like before he went to Tampa Bay where there's like a funny ass Under Armour commercial where he's just talking normal to a guy and they're like, listen to this Boston accent. And he's like, I don't have an accent. Like, he's like, I can barely understand. Like,
I don't even understand what you're saying.
It's a hilarious commercial. I mean, it's mad. Like, it's great.
So you look at some other quarterbacks that had some level of success, right? I always think of Brett Favre. I think of Aaron Rodgers. Those guys had some fun, But on the field, they were business.
They were, always.
If you're telling me he wasn't having fun with Giselle, he married a Victoria's Secret model. He was having
fun.
Come on, dude. Yeah.
And hanging out with Leo on boats, like, he had fun, dude.
I mean, he had his fun.
Yeah.
Well, just take the compliment, take the pat on the back, you know, figure out what 7 fingers you're wearing your rings on, and just keep doing what you're doing, man.
Yeah, would you trade all of those rings for some horseplay in the locker room?
I doubt it.
Nope.
I wouldn't trade one. I wouldn't trade letting me wear one of those rings for fucking jackassing around in the locker room.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, good story, whatever. It's clearly a slow NFL news cycle.
Slow.
Got to talk about something.
But we managed 40 minutes on it.
We got there. And all we had to do was talk about a little baseball.
Sorry, Brian.
We'll catch you next time, bro.
All right. Follow us on X at __pod.
That is shift__
Facebook and Instagram at __ podcast.
Again, that is shift__
YouTube at _podcast.
punctuation free zone, bro.
And listen, follow, and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube Music, and iHeartRadio.
And now on TikTok.